are you? How are you really? Hi, I'm Judy Shearwaters. Welcome to my channel. Here I bring you author interviews of people just like you who had stories they wanted to share with the world. I also bring you writing prompts to urge you on to write your own story of your legacy for your generations to come. So, in other words, you have a story to tell. So let me help you tell it. Let's go back to that first question I asked. How are you? How are you really? How many times a week I am asked that question. People at church or at the grocery store, I ask that question all the time myself. If the person asking the question went on to ask that second question, how are you really? What would your response be? Everything from 1 second ago to right now is your history. Think about that. Think of the history you have just lived through. The pandemic, the uncertainty, the politics, the medical advice that came in and out at us, our growing disbelief in so many things. So when we write that down and get it down, it not only helps us to get that stress off of us and to feel better about ourselves, but it also is a written history for your generations to come. So when someone asked me that question this morning, I thought for the first time of the poem Sick by Shel Silverstein. Maybe you remember it. Let me read it to you. It goes like this. I cannot go to school today, said little Peggy Ann McKay. I have the measles and the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. My mouth is wet, my throat is dry. I'm going blind in my right eye. My tonsils are as big as rocks. I've counted 16 chicken pox, and there's one more, that's 17. And don't you think my face looks green? My leg is cut, my eyes are blue. It might be instamatic flu. I cough and sneeze and gasp and choke. I'm sure that my left leg is broke. My hip hurts when I move my chin. My belly button's caving in. My back is wrenched. My ankle's sprained. My spandex pains each time it rains. My nose is cold. My toes are numb. I have a sliver in my thumb. My neck is stiff. My spine is weak. I hardly whisper when I speak. My tongue is filling up my mouth. I think my hair is falling out. My elbows bent. My spine ain't straight. My temperature is 108. My brain is shrunk. I cannot hear. There's a hole inside my ear. I have a hangnail and my heart is, what? What's that? What's that you say? You say today is Saturday? Ha ha, goodbye. I'm going out to play. I love that poem. And perhaps you've heard it, perhaps you've read it to your children in the past. But I love that poem. It gives us caution, it gives us a reason to smile, actually. And we can think of all of our problems, all of our miseries we've gone through. And yet, today's a new day. Today is a day to get all of that written down. Write it down. Get it out of your brain so that you have more property up there to get positive thoughts in there. So, go ahead, get your pencil. My mother used to love writing with pencil. Or get a pen. A pen is longer lasting. Or just on the computer. And put your thoughts into writing. Let your generations to come know what you lived through. Bring in the politics of the time. Bring in what other people said. Bring in the news of the day and then other news that contradicted that news. Bring in all of that, everything that happened, historical figures, all these different things that went on. The lockdowns, how that affected you, scarcity of groceries in the grocery store. How did that affect you personally? Your generations to come will want to know. So that's your prompt today. How are you today? How are you really? Now that we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and we're going to come out okay on the other side. How are you really? So, if you enjoy receiving writing prompts like this, go ahead and like this video. Sign up for a subscription to my channel so that you are notified every time I put out a video like this. Until next time, I'm Judy Shearwaters. You have a story to tell. Let me help you tell it.